I just got back from a Daenerys photo shoot and this makeup has held up. It survived the shower and everything.
Yep, Yes! Oh, and she's pissed. She's going to do some business. Yep.
Greetings and welcome back to another video. If you've never seen my face before, I'm Ruthie. I'm a cosplayer and a seamstress and a writer. And on this channel we go on adventures, we travel to cons, we create cosplays, and we do a lot of other fun stuff along the way. This video is a little unique to everything else I've done on this channel so far. In this video we're going to be clearing out my sewing supply bureau. It's where I keep my sewing machine, my tools, my current work in progress stuff, and then everything else I need for creating cosplays. And generally, I have it pretty well organized. I like to keep it easy for myself when I'm working. Recently, however, I have not been doing that. I have not cleaned my bureau in a year since last May, and it's about May now. So about a year. I just finished my Barbie Rapunzel cosplay, so I'm ready to start on my next competition build. But I'm gonna have a hard time doing that if my supply caddy is a mess. So we're going to get that cleaned out, and you're gonna come along with me because I tend to get more things done when I am being observed. And perhaps exposing my whole mess to the entire internet will help me do a little better in the future. That's all I have to say about that. Let's do this thing. Alright, good morning. This is my sewing supply bureau. This is where I keep a lot of the things I use every day when I sew. I keep my machines in here. I keep ribbons and closures and threads and all of that good stuff. And some of it has kind of leaked into this corner over here. Over there is a little tub, and that's what I keep my current build stuff in. So if the fabric I'm using fits in there, I keep it in there. Whatever notions I'm using, keep it in there. And the things that I'm not actively using in that moment but that I will need soon go under here. This is one big drawer up here, and we keep a lot of our stationery supplies in there, like paper and pencils and hole punches and things like that. But everything down here needs to be pulled out and reorganized really bad. Normally I keep my sewing machine under there as well, keep it safe and clean and out of the way, but now I have two because I got a new one. So I have to figure out if I have room for two machines under there or what I'm gonna work out in terms of storage for that. All right, first things first, the sewing machine's in here, so we gotta pull that out. It's like an avalanche about to occur. This was the first machine I bought back in 2021, I think. I was costuming a show and some garments needed really major adjusting, and then I had to make some pieces as well. This was the first show I had to sew for, or where there wasn't a machine for me to use, so I went out and I bought this with my own money. It's a brother, and it has served me well for many years, but it does kind of suck. So I'm gonna keep it just in case I have a problem with my other machine or in case my sister wants to use it. I may try to find the smaller box to keep it in because this is just the box it came in. But it's bulky, so let's slide that out of the way. We're just gonna go bit by bit here. This is the base I'm using for my Marcel staff when I eventually cosplay Marcel. I was gonna do that back in December, and then I had too much going on in the fall leading up to Yamacon, which is why I ended up competing with Amalthea in the first place. But my plan is to cover this in branches for the top of her staff, so this is sticking around. But I am gonna see how much I can get rid of. Put everything into piles. This is Jinx stuff. This is fabric that I bought and dyed for Jinx. I'm gonna set this aside. I don't know when I'm gonna cosplay Jinx at this point in time. This is where my hoarding tendencies come in. I don't have any plans to cosplay Jinx right now, but I might, so I should keep it. You know how it goes. I had to buy an entire pack of these just for my Ariadne cosplay for the top of her sword, which is a sewing pin. I don't know what I'm going to do with these now. I'll either find a spot for them or I'll throw them out, which I hate to do because it feels so wasteful. This feels a little bit like a trip down memory lane too. These are a bunch of toilet paper rolls. These are back from when I was gonna cosplay Jinx, and then I ended up switching up my plans to build things like her gun or for her hair. I may not keep these. Foam. Oh boy. Okay. This is stuff from MomoCon of last year. I had a couple of cosplays that I was going to bring, and I didn't because I had some kind of sickness and bad migraines leading up to it. And I didn't get to finish all of my cosplays because of that, but this is some of the supplies from that. This was from my Sabrina Carpenter One Piece mashup, where I was Nami Carpenter, you know. Garbage, because that's just a little bit. This is a significant bit of fabric. This was gonna be season 2 Jinx with her chest binding stuff. I'm gonna keep that because I can use that for mock-ups. This is a little bit of fur and hot glue. So this is from when I was making my Izutsumi cosplay back for Yamacon because we were doing dungeon meshi, but it was too cold to wear her normal outfit, so I made her winter coat. That's what this is from. This can go in fabrics because I'm not getting rid of faux fur. That stuff's expensive. And I'm back. I had to go deal with my dog because he was barking. And normally when he barks, it's not a big deal. He barks at everything. But there was a random cat in our yard, and we have 2 cats. He was protecting our cats. Rip is really funny because he was raised with cats. And you know, you see videos on the internet of like dogs that were raised with cats, so they act like cats and they have cat mannerisms. That's Rip. But even compared to those videos on the internet, no dog I've ever seen behaves more like a cat than Rip. Yeah, he thinks he's a cat, and he loves his kitty siblings. Boning for corsetry work. I need to put this in a bag so it's contained. That can go over there with the Marcel stuff because that's what I bought that for. Oh, this was the start of my Jinx cosplay for season 2. You know, leather and then the hood, like that. And then I just was sick and couldn't finish it. I'm sick a lot. I'm gonna take a closer look at this and then decide if it's something I want to keep or not. We'll see. Felt for days, like so much. Like, why does anyone need this much felt? But that's there. That with fabric supplies. This is a bit of like cheap red cloak that I cut up for other things. May keep that for mock-up stuff. More chest binding stuff. This was from my Rey cosplay back in like 2020. Some of it still survived. And then this is more like bandage material. Keeping these because these are really useful. Patterns. This is for the Marcel corsets, I believe. So I need to make sure I have all of these pieces. I have it on my computer. I can always print out more. I'd rather not do that because cutting patterns is one of my least favorite things to do. Ooh, okay. I know exactly what most of this is. This is mock-up stuff for Lucy Gray, which is what I'm working on next. It's kind of a huge project. There's a lot of elements to it, so I need to make sure this kind of stays together. Pattern for my Daryl Dixon vest. And I already have mock-up fabric cut out for Lucy Gray. And I have the material for her blouse as well. I'm considering dyeing this. I don't know. This needs to go up there with the rest of that. I'm not very good at corset making. It's kind of complicated. And I've never made the style of corset she wears before, which are more like stays, so I have to do a mock-up of that for sure. Open this other drawer and start taking a look at what we've got. This is pattern for the Lucy Gray blouse. That's gonna go there. In this box, what this box is supposed to be is random miscellaneous supplies. Here's more of that Marcel corset pattern. And it does its job, it holds that stuff, but it just gets full of other things. So we've got buttons for days. These were my grandmother's. And embroidery hoops for Lucy Gray. Boning. 2 different kinds. This one's wider, this one's a little bit thinner. Buttonhole maker. A little bit of a dowel. I think this was going to be my Rapunzel paintbrush, and then I just didn't have time to make it. Air dry clay, which has been sitting in here forever. Because I accidentally bought it when I was looking for foam clay. So this is light, and this is super heavy. I don't really have a use for air dry clay. It doesn't really work for cosplaying because it's so heavy. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get rid of this. And it's so old at this point, I don't know if it'll still work. This was my grandmother's glue gun. Big boy, hefty, and it gets hot. And some of the worst burns I've ever gotten are from that hot glue gun. Just a little box to keep things organized. That goes in here. Zippers. Googly eyes. Scissor sharpeners. Shears. Little organizers. Random assortment of paintbrushes. More paper towel rolls. Glue, which is not very good. Wire, for all of your wire needs. From when I was working on Choso, it's sparkly glue. And D&D dice, because I never go anywhere without it. This is supposed to hold all of my pens and supplies and things for marking on fabric. It's a skull cup. I got it from Walmart like 3 Halloweens ago. So these pens need to go back in here. Of course, random X-Acto knife, very safe. I have grabbed this by the top a couple of times before, and that's not great. But that's gonna go there. More buttons. Let's scooch on to the last door. Fishing wire for sewing in lettuce hems in fabric that doesn't stretch. Just buttons for days, rotary cutter knives, seam rippers, and paintbrushes. And then in these drawers right here are closures like Velcro and buttons and snaps. In here are notions. I've got feathers and some lace. This is leftover from Sabrina Carpenter. All that stuff. I don't know that all of my lace is going to fit in here now. Okay. And then in here is my beading supplies. So all of my beading stuff can go back in here. Then of course we have the work in progress corner, and it's bad. There's not a lot of wiggle room in here either. I'll clear some out in a minute, but we have container, sewing machine, box for current whip stuff, box of thread, sewing case, a bunch of stuff my sister's working on, random PJs, collar cut out from a shirt. So when we pull all this out, and then we'll see what we're working with, we can start to reorganize. I don't even know what this cord goes to. Tattoo supplies, because my sister does that. We all do a little bit of everything. Death Note, it's a prop, but it's also my sketchbook. I've actually been wondering where this was. All of this is work in progress stuff. Belongs to my sister. Has been sitting here for almost a year. That's not me casting stones, because I'm just as bad. We've had a lot happening in our family the past 14 months. It's been rough. Just gonna put all of her things right here and let her take care of those. Oh dear. This is more her. This is all stuff she's gonna use for the Ren Fair, I believe. My sister doesn't sew much, but when she does, she's good. She's good at everything she does. I have to work at it. Sewing box from my childhood. Pillowcase, and I don't know why it's there. Sterile vest that I haven't finished yet because my brother's in the hospital. I have it partially sewed on here, but I think when I want to take these off and dye them to be a little bit darker, and then I'm gonna attach them better, I think. This vest smells so good. It's clean and it's real leather. It's great. These are PJ pants, and I don't know why they're there. Sister shirt that I was supposed to dye. Sorry, Grace. This is leftover stuff from Katniss. This is, holy crap, bunch of silk, more satin, some lace. This is really nice fabric. So obviously I'm not going to toss it, and there's still quite a bit of it left. I don't know what I can make out of it, but big box of thread. So let's that's gonna go in there. As I find more, I will add it. A bunch of beads and lace that need to go into the beads and lace drawer. Those are closures. Beads. All of my cutting tools. Got scissors for days over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's not even all of them, because I have 3 up here on the table. Now everything in here is mostly stuff from Rapunzel. And should I clean off the floor before I dig into all of this mess? Yes, I should. Am I going to? No. Let's just do it. Holy crap. Yeah, it just doesn't end. All of this is going to get reorganized a little bit later. A lot of this is just scrap at this point, but I don't know what all is what. So that's gonna stay how it is, because that's low priority in comparison to getting everything else cleaned out. Orange tulle that I don't know what to do with, because I had to buy some for Katniss, and now I've just got a whole spool. Yep. More patterns. Patches. I need to fix my work pants. That's why I bought these. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I imagine it would be.
Stuck my finger in
I was like, I'm just gonna make sure it's hot before I say it. I got that on video. You're welcome. Is that why you were laughing? A little bit. Also, you're just funny.
Okay, so you know the quest of wild.
Yeah.
There's another one called the Haptogophorus.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful. But it's said to either have been bigger or the same size.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And welcome back. I have this problem, and I think I'm not alone, where I am really enthusiastic about starting a project, and then I get into the middle of it, and I get so overwhelmed and overstimulated that a lot of the time I just don't finish. That happens with a lot of sewing projects, and it happens when I clean too. Obviously, with this one, I was going to have to power through it, and I did. And I'm so glad that I got this done. In an old season of Doctor Who, one of the characters has like this giant beetle on her back, and she knows something is there and it's stressing her out, and she's trying to figure out what it is and get it off. That's how that dresser felt to me. It felt like the beetle on my back. But it's done now. The beetle is gone. I'm ready to jump into what will soon be the second half of 2026 and all of my sewing projects that I will be undertaking in the next couple of months. Currently, I'm working on my Lucy Gray build. That's very exciting. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm going to make for MomoCon. Also very exciting. And there will be videos for those in the future. So if you somewhat enjoyed this video, you should consider subscribing. And if you didn't like this video, don't tell me because it will hurt my feelings. And maybe try one of my other ones. Share this video with your friends, and I will see you next time.
Well, if we only had more crime here, they wouldn't be able to close down the station.
Yes, but there's never any crime in Moomin Valley.
Unless we commit some, I guess.
What?
Let's go and fill Moomin Valley with crime. Come on!